guys, it's me, Letitia. I am the Crafty Curator, and welcome to my channel. I'm sorry, I have a hair in my mouth or something. Today is Monday, December 10th, and I have the death cold. So I'm going to make this short and sweet, but I just wanted to pop on and introduce this video, and also give the results of my giveaway. As promised on December 10th, I said I would do a drawing to select the winner randomly for Peacocks and Posies, as well as the de Havilland embroidery thread in the African Violet colorway. So I have a couple of updates that I made over the past couple of Saturdays that I will insert after this video, but I didn't want to have to make you wait until the end of the video to see who won. So thank you to all of you that have participated in the giveaway or that just left a kind comment. Thank you very much. It was great fun reading about all the different types of birds and flowers, many of which I have never even heard of before. So it was absolutely fascinating, and I appreciated you all participating in that with me. So without further ado, I will insert a video here to draw the winner. Hi guys, today is December 10th, and as promised, I am going to be selecting the random winner for Peacocks and Posies and the de Havilland embroidery thread. Today is Kyle's birthday, so that's why I chose today as the random day. Hopefully everybody has had a chance to watch and submit their comments. There were 122 comments on this video, but it also included my replies. So at the time that I'm doing this, I replied to every single comment, so divide that in half, I guess. So I'm entering the URL, and we're going to hit load comments and select a random winner. Here we go. Oh, so yeah, there you go. There's the 122 comments. I'm going to pick a random winner. Hopefully you commented by saying which bird and which flower you like the most, and we shall see. Oh my gosh, look at that. I picked myself. Let's try this again. All right, random comment number 40. It's a beautiful pattern and floss. My favorite bird is the Arara caninde, the typical Amazon bird. I love this animal. My favorite flower could not be other than the inspiration of my name, Lily. Your pillow tutorial made me laugh a lot. Thank you. I was happy how you continued to be positive about it, even though it was not what you wanted. Well, in the end, it's a very happy ending. It was exactly what I wanted. So Lillian Sinfonio, reach out to me some way, somehow. You can message me as Letitia Beckett on Facebook, or you can message me under the Crafty Curator on Instagram with your information, and I look forward to sending this information out to you. Congratulations, and thank you for everybody that watched and submitted their information, or just commented, or just liked, or just enjoyed the video and stitched along. And that's it for now. Congratulations, Lillian or Lily? I'm gonna go with Lily or Lillian. Congratulations, either way. Take care. So congratulations, Lillian. You have won the Peacocks and Posies from Rosewood Manor. This is the original pattern with little to no wear on it, because I made working copies, along with a skein. It's dark, so the lighting is what it is, but it's a beautiful, that's a little better, skein of the African Violet de Havilland embroidery thread. Remember to use a needle with a fairly large eye for this thread. But go back to my last, I don't remember which one, but there was a video I did all about this thread, how to use it, how to unravel it. But it's really really great. Even when it looks like it's about to fray, it still stitches up beautifully, and you can see that on my tribal cat. So congratulations to you, Lillian. But wait, there's more. So later on in the video, I will be showing the results of the project bags that I made a couple of weekends ago. I would like to gift you one of my bags. They're not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not bad. It holds in 11 by 11 Q-snap. This is the accent fabric and the beautiful stars fabric. And on the inside, it has the batik fabric. So I would love to gift this bag to you, along with a couple of other goodies that I'll stick in there. And I'm really excited because Lillian is all the way in Brazil. So how cool is it that, you know, it's just so cool. This is a scissor fob that came in one of my So Much to Love bag of the month bags, but it's also a thread keep, and it says stitching nut on it because it's a nut and we're stitching nut, and super cute. So I don't normally use these things, but maybe you would. And this is like wood. It's really, really cute. So I'm going to throw that in the bag for you. Along with a couple of needle minders. There's a little shimmery mermaid and a Hello Kitty. And if you watched a couple of videos back where I purchased my first diamond painting kits, there were 4 different kits in each one. So I am hoping that you have never tried diamond painting because you're about to. I'm throwing in one of those kits for you. And this is the complete kit with all the drills. It has the craft set in there. So everything that you need to get started with diamond painting is in there for you. So I'm just going to throw all of this in that project bag and send it your way, Lillian, and I hope you enjoy it. Now, I didn't have all of these things. I didn't talk about all of these things in the giveaway when I first did my video saying I was going to pass the stash, because that's what I intended to do, pass the stash. But sometimes we like to throw in, you know, some little bits and pieces with it. And this was just one of those things where I had just finished a project bag, and I go into later on in the video about my adventures with the project bags. So this is just me sprinkling some of that stitchy kindness. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for participating, and thank you guys for watching. And I'm pretty sure anytime the next time I do a giveaway, there'll be a project bag involved, because now I know how to make them. So thank you for watching, and now on to the updates. Bye. Happy Saturday. It is Saturday, December 1st. How do you forget the 1st? It's Saturday, December 1st. As you can see, I am in my Saturday morning finery with my coffee. But we're about to switch off on projects. So now's as good a time as any to show you where I left off with my last whip and what whip is coming into the rotation. So last night was the Friday night stitching. I worked on Desiderata, as I will every Friday night until the next high tea. I did not get much progress done, much to my dismay, because I was scrolling through Facebook, I was scrolling through Instagram, and I was watching This Is Us and catching up on the last couple of episodes. So I got next to nothing done. I think I started somewhere around here with these little floral motifs done. So I did make it to the end of the other side of the pattern with both the green outline, the green back stitch and the maroon back stitch, but I still need to go in and get those little eyelets in the middle. I don't know if you can see them. They're the same color basically as the fabric, but there's little eyelets in the middle of each flower, and they're fairly fast. So not much progress there, literally just like that. But it's some, and every stitch counts, right? So that's my progress on Desiderata, and I won't pick this back up until next Friday. Okay. Also, as you know, I was working on the Jacobian I don't even know anymore. Jacobian bell pull. I started this on 12/18. No, I did not. On November 18th, I think. So yesterday was the end of 2 weeks. I decided to try to bring my 2 week whip rotation back into play because, as you know, in 2019, I am concentrating on knocking out some whips. I did have a stitching journal on an Excel sheet that I started earlier in the year. And I did not keep up with it at all. But the good news is it's still there for me to start back up for next year to really keep an eye on where my whips are. Right now, I took out the patterns that I finished over the course of this year. So right now it's showing 32 active whips, but I know good and well that's not including everything, but it's including a nice chunk of my whips. Not necessarily active. By whips, I'm defining whips as anything that has been started and not finished. So even though I may not have worked on it in a year or possibly 2 years, it's still there and there's an inventory of it. So I'm going to use that to kind of go through the whips. I keep most of my whips in a trunk now in the project bags, but they're, for the most part, they're contained in a trunk. And try to finalize that list to see exactly how many whips I have because it's a lot. So here is, that was a big old rabbit trail and I don't even know where I was going with that. But anyway, yeah, I'm bringing back the 2 week rotation because I want to make sure I give my whips some love this year. That's next year. So instead of stitching on my Jacobian bell pull through the end of December, which was my initial plan, I just put it in a 2 week rotation. So this is what I got done in 2 weeks. I would have had a lot more done, but this whole entire green flower that almost looks like a little blackwork type flower, this one right here, I had to frog that whole thing because I miscounted and it was a mess. So you can see where I started the tree right here. And then I basically had to go through and redo the whole entire flower. So yeah, so this was 2 weeks of progress. I'm loving it. I love how rich the greens look. I love it that it actually in some way looks kind of, those rolling hills look a little plush and filled with greenery. I really love this. And again, this is on 25 count Lagana in potato. So we'll be bringing this out again next year, no doubt. But that's where we are. Yeah, so I'm putting this away for a little while. I did not work on my tribal cat, so there is no progress to show on that. And I have brought out the new whip, new work in progress that I'm going to work on for the next 2 weeks until December 14th, I guess. And this is kind of a new whip, but I haven't worked on it in a while. It's, I guess, an oldie but goodie. Let me pull out all the things. I might as well remind you because I don't think, well, not that I don't think, I know that I didn't show this to you guys on video because I wasn't recording. So here we go. So this was inspired by Caroline. She was working on this, and as soon as I saw it, I needed it in my life. And not only that, but I've fallen in love with this designer. So that would be, of course, Sampler COVE's Amtrak. So I believe that Caroline is using this exact colorway. Hers is stunning, but I changed the colorway completely. Then the called for threads and fabric, and I'm pulling this out. So I am using all Gloriana. I'm using Gloriana Sassy Green, Gloriana Purple Night Sky, which I believe that Mieke is using for one of her whips right now. I absolutely love Gloriana's Purple Night Sky and Velvet Night Sky. Velvet Night Sky is my absolute favorite because it's more of a royal blue than a royal purple, but they're absolutely beautiful. So these are the 3 colors that I'm using. Oh, what is this third one? Highland Garden Dark DK. So Highland Garden is the variegated. Then we have Purple Night Sky and Sassy Green. Those are showing up fairly accurately. These are the 3 colors. And I am stitching it on, I don't know what I'm stitching it on because the label's not here, but I believe it's a 28 count. Let's see if it's in here. Rustle, rustle, crinkle, crinkle. Oh, looky here. There's a number of, why are there so many things stuffed in this one project bag? Well, we might as well look at those too. Why not? Because I don't know what's in this bag because it's been that long since I've opened it. Oh, I think I got these from my So Much to Love. One of my So Much to Love bag of the month. A pair of scissors with a little sheath in it. It's fun. I'm basically right now just showing you everything that's in my project bag. I don't know what this fabric is, so I'm guessing it's like a 25 count mushroom Lugana. This is my progress so far. So you can see where the, hopefully it's all in frame. You can see where the Highland Green or Highland Garden, how that looks variegated. Of course, the Sassy, I think it's Sassy Green is the border. And then you can see the Purple Night Sky. So I love how these colors play together. I love how they look on the fabric. So I'm picking this up for the next 2 weeks. No goal in mind, just kind of hoping I get further than where I am, right? A little Frankie needle miter in a little holiday sweater. It's cold outside. All right, so let's look at what else is in this bag because there's some things in here. So remember when I said that I fell down that Sampler Cove train, that Sampler Cove rabbit hole because of Caroline? This is Siam Fusion. Beautiful pattern, Siam Fusion. Why don't I just take it out? Because the glare is annoying, isn't it? I haven't started this, but apparently I have chosen the threads I'm going to use for it. And I remember getting those threads off of Etsy. So this is Siam Fusion. Beautiful blues. And this is again by Sampler Cove. And this is the Chronic French Silk Limited Edition stash of unrivaled beauty. So it has 14 2.5 millimeter skeins for samplers, quilting, and embroidery. I figure if I do this on a 25 count, these colors will suffice. So beautiful colors there that I think will work very well with this. I think that works. So that's what was in this bag. Did I mention I fell down a Sampler Cove rabbit hole? Yeah. Oh yeah, look at that hairdo. You're welcome. Happy Saturday. So I'm trying to find the cover page to this because I see the flosses that I have in here, but I don't see, oh there it is. I don't know why I packaged this up. You know what? I do know why. I made working copies. So these are my working copies here. And this is, oh my word, Rhapsody in Red ribbon sampler. So I think I'm just showing you all of the patterns, the Sampler Cove patterns that I purchased when I purchased Amtrak. Because I know I purchased a few of them and I think I just put them all in this bag. And then I remember I was going through my threads to see what I was going to use, what colors I was going to use. And apparently I chose not to do Rhapsody in Red, but I chose to do Rhapsody in purple, because I have 2 skeins of Gloriana Ultraviolet and Berry Purple in here. So apparently that is what I chose to do Rhapsody in red in. Not sure what color fabric I'm going to put this on, but these purples are really beautiful, rich violets and amethyst, and just very nice rich colors. And it's a little bit brighter than, it's about accurate, but up close you can really see the variegation there. Beautiful colors. So that's Rhapsody in red. Again, Rhapsody in red and Siam Fusion, I'm not starting them anytime soon, but they were in the project bag along with Amtrak, so why not show them since we have them, right? So that's where we are, where we're going to start. So the next time I post an update, I'm assuming it'll be an update on my progress on Amtrak. And then of course the giveaway drawing is on the 10th, so that will be posted in here as well. And the next time you see me, I will probably not look like I just rolled out of bed and washed my face and brushed my teeth and had a cup of coffee, and not look like that's all I accomplished on a Saturday morning, because that's all I accomplished this Saturday morning. So there you go. But we're family and we're friends, and it's okay to appear on camera like this with you. But that's all I have for now. So until next time, happy stitching. Happy Saturday morning, friends. It is Saturday, December 8th, and I am coming back with an update for my stitching for the past week. So a lot has happened since I last recorded. A lot has happened. If you have been following me on social media, you have seen a lot of what's happened, and I'm very excited to share that with you. So just a couple of shout outs to get us started. Apparently I have been living my life in a bubble. And I was not aware that Andrea C had a FLOSSTUBE channel. No idea. Andrea C is I Heart Cross Stitch on FLOSSTUBE. I think she's Andrea C on Instagram. I know she's commented on my videos several times, so I know she follows me. Thank you, Andrea. And I know that she is active on Instagram because I like her work that she posts. She likes mine. But I never knew that she's had a FLOSSTUBE channel called I Heart Cross Stitch. I will link it below. And she's had it for the past 3 years. So I have been binge watching her a lot this past week, along with catching up with Ginger, Gerald, and Caroline, and Pam for their Flossmas updates, Vlogmas updates as Pam calls them. But it's just been a fun week of FLOSSTUBE. Of course, catching up with Jessie Marie and Kay and Ingeborg. Mieke, lots of fun updates this week, and I've been watching them all and enjoying them all. So thank you guys for all that you do to keep us entertained and informed about what's going on in your stitchy lives. Also, in my last video, I mentioned that Tash did her whip parade, and the Celtic sampler that she has been working on for quite some time now, it's now out of print, and I waited too long to buy it. I was watching it and admiring it every time she showed an update. Absolutely loved that pattern, and now it's out of print and I couldn't find it anywhere. Fun fact, and just a public service announcement, if you are looking for your unicorn chart, or if you're looking for an out of print chart, reach out to McKenna. reach out to McKenna and she might be able to help you find one. She actually has a fantastic website. Not find one, but find a copy of what you're looking for. She has a fantastic website now called 1884 Stitchery. You may have heard about it. I know Diana mentioned it in her video this week and a couple of other people. But it really is a beautiful, beautiful site. When you go on it, she has a lot. I've noticed there was Permanent of Copenhagen. I think Trisha just recently said that that was one of her unicorn charts, but she has a lot of out of print charts. And they're kind of, a lot of them are one and done. So you want to kind of poke in there quite often to see what she uploads, because it might be something that she's found from an estate sale or from some other type of venue where that's the only copy she has, but it very well could be what you're looking for. So I digress. Going back to the Celtic Sampler, they had copies at the attic. So she is going to look and see if they have a copy for me. So hopefully by the next update, I will have a confirmation that she was able to find that. If not, it will remain my unicorn chart. But reach out to her and she might be able to help you out. Also in my last video, apparently I had a mishap with some editing, and this was truly unfortunate probably to anybody watching my video with headphones on. When I did my how not to make a pillow segment, apparently I cued the music a little bit before the actual intro of that segment, and the music was supposed to correspond with that segment. So unfortunately, in some parts of the video, I was talking and music blasted, and I will be more careful with that. This was one of the few times that I didn't actually watch my video before posting it, because I was fairly confident that I edited it in the right places, but apparently there was a bit of a snafu, a bit of a mishap. So if you were wearing earphones or headphones and you got blasted with that orange and red music, I apologize. I'm sure that was not ideal for you. So I'll be more careful with that in the next video. I was enabled this past week by, of all people, I'm so happy to say that I was enabled by Carolyn Mazia. No, she is not cross-stitching yet. She hasn't cross-stitched probably in a couple of years, but she has fallen down the diamond painting rabbit hole. And she's been posting videos online. She's been posting updates on Instagram and some on her Facebook page. If you're friends with her on Facebook, you would have seen them, but she's doing diamond painting, and she just completed this amazing diamond painting that uses like rhinestone drills instead of the resin drills for the diamond painting, and it's like it's shining bright like a diamond, and it was an elephant, and it's on its way to my home. Along with a couple of other things. So the diamond painting thing, I showed a couple of videos ago the little starter pack that I got from Amazon for like 11 bucks, and it had 4 projects in it. I haven't started it yet, and there's a reason why I haven't started it yet. The first reason was at the time I was focusing on finishing PEACOCKS and POSIES, and I didn't want any new starts to interfere with what I was focusing on. So I said I would probably start that next year. I am a little bit nervous about falling down the diamond painting rabbit hole, because one thing that I have heard from a lot of people that started diamond painting is that they stopped stitching. And I'm not ready to do that. I'm not ready to fall face first into a brand new hobby. And because of my addictive hobby personality, it's a real chance that I might do that. So I'm avoiding it, but yet I'm stockpiling on the stash. So yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? So I'll buy the kids One of them had like 3 women. I think McKenna showed it a while ago. 3 women that looked like they had some type of painting on their faces. They were 3 black women with, one had like green makeup, one had red makeup, one had purple or royal blue. And I actually have that in the cross stitch chart. It's a full coverage and I just have the chart. I haven't started it, but I didn't know it was a diamond painting. So that's on its way, along with the elephant that Carolyn did, and I think a flower of some sort. So I'm about to have 4 diamond painting kits. Really nervous about that. And some people would say, well, just don't buy them, which is logical, right? It makes perfect sense. But I know I want to try it. Now, why I'm buying more kits before I've even tried them? Because they're shiny and they're inexpensive and they're pretty. And that's why. So anyway, that happened. I was enabled by Carolyn Mazzio and I couldn't be more tickled about it. So I have some whips to show from the past week. Last week I worked on 3 different whips. I worked on my regular whip that's in my 2-week rotation. I worked on my Friday night stitch-in whip. And I worked a little bit on my travel piece, which is the tribal cat. I have not worked on my sunflower, and there is a reason for that. If you'll recall, that's the sunflower that I'm making for Troy. I started to stitch it on 28 count even weave from MCG Textiles. I didn't necessarily have a problem with the fabric. I know a lot of people have a problem with that fabric. I have not experienced any issues with that fabric yet, but I've only done a very small part. The reason why I am hesitant to move forward with that particular project is because it's 2/2 on 28 count, which is perfectly fine, but it's not what I'm used to anymore. And to me, because that border is pretty dense, it's coming across as thick and bulky, particularly because I'm doing the outside of the border in black and I'm using 3 strands because I want that full coverage look. I want that coverage, so I'm using 3 strands of black. It's feeling a little bulky to me and I'm not sure that I want to keep going in that direction. That, I might as well show it to you while I'm talking about it. That would be helpful, right? Put my coffee down. That and the fact that I did this little area down here in the Sulky Metallic 1/1. You guys, you know that's gonna annoy me. That's gonna be a problem. So I'm probably gonna use the same colors except for this metallic. I'm definitely gonna use these same beads. I'm definitely gonna use the same Silk for You and like the sunflower tone. And I'm still going to do the black background, but I think I'm going to dial it down a notch. Maybe do it on a 36 count, or even a 32 count. I'm not sure. I don't know if I want to continue with this, but mainly because I know I'm not going to want to keep doing these little squares. These little corners in the 1/1 Sulky Metallic. I'm not going to want to keep doing that. I don't know. What I don't want to do is go any further without being certain that this is the direction that I want to go in. I think it looks great. I think it looks beautiful. I love these color choices. And looking at this fabric, I don't see any issues with the fabric that some people have expressed concerns about. I don't know, but that's all to say I'm still putting some thought into this and where I want to go with this. So we'll see. Stay tuned. But I need to have it finished, preferably by July. Finished meaning finished, framed, ready to go by July. So I have some time. but we also know that cross stitch takes time, so it's in limbo, but not for too long. The next thing that I worked on, and I worked on this last night because last night was the Friday night stitching, and that is the Desiderata. I'm not showing this on Instagram at all because my husband follows me on Instagram and this is for him. So Joe, if you're watching, this is the time to turn it off, please. Thank you. So I worked on this last night. I didn't get very far, but I filled in some of the center eyelets in the flower petals. I did the rice stitch checkerboard pattern, and wait a minute, I got a situation with my needle. Talk amongst yourselves. One moment, please. All right. I did the rice stitch checkerboard pattern, so I didn't get very far because I was watching FLOSSTUBE, and I was watching The Greatest Showman because I watched Diana's latest video, and she is the boss of me. Watch The Greatest Showman, and there was so much. I hope you guys can see this. I can't see what I'm showing you. So I only did this last line where there is the lettering, that rice stitch checkerboard pattern, and finished up the eyelets in the flower band. So not a lot. But about The Greatest Showman, I watched that last night because Diana, It Is Kismet, her video this week talked about how she watched that video with her family on Thanksgiving. I'm a big fan of a musical. I love a musical. So visually, it was fantastic. I loved the singing. I loved the choreography. I loved the videography. I loved everything. I definitely believe that that story was romanticized a bit. And I'll leave that there. But it was an absolute pleasure to watch. Loved it. So, the next thing I'm working on is, well, let me show you this. This is my travel piece. This was my October high tea start tribal cap by White Willow Stitching. And I'm just kind of keeping this one on the go because in comparison to my other pieces, it's fairly small, it's one color, it's easy peasy, and that is where we are with this right now. And of course, this is using the de Havilland embroidery thread that I will be giving a skein of that away in my giveaway, which the drawing is on Monday. Yeah, Monday, Kyle's birthday. Happy birthday, Kyle, in advance. So I'll be doing that drawing for my copy of Peacocks and Posies, as well as a skein of this de Havilland embroidery thread. So what you see right here is basically the cat's torso. I'm kind of moving up his neck into his head. So yeah, this probably would not take that long, but because I'm just stitching it whenever, it kind of stays in my car for those moments that you have, whether it's an appointment, maybe it's on a lunch break, whatever, you know, always bring cross stitch. Remember your ABCs. So that's where I am with that. And the last whip that I worked on this month was the whip that I pulled out on December 1st. So I'll be working on this until the 14th, which is next Friday. I wanted to give this 2 weeks of time and show it some love. And that is Amtrak by Sampler Cove. I wasn't able to start this by Caroline. As soon as I saw that her pattern and her project, I knew I had to have it, and then I fell down a rabbit hole with many other Sampler Cove patterns because their patterns are beautiful. So this one is only 3 colors. I am using Purple Night Sky by Gloriana, Highland Garden DK by Gloriana, and Sassy Green by Gloriana, and this is stitched on a 32 count, 25 count Mushroom Lugana 1/1. So my goal, or what I'm shooting for this rotation is to finish up the interior of this square here. So I started, when I picked it up, I think I was only down here in this area with a couple of these little leaf motifs finished. So what I've done in the past week or so is all that you see here. And I'm hoping that by next Friday, I will have all of that completed before I retire this and move on to another whip. So one of the things that I'm loving about reintroducing the rotation is projects are getting some love. But wow, right? This is like, this one blows my mind every time I look at it. It's just, the pattern is amazing. But I love how these three colors work together. It's just a beautiful design. It really, really is a beautiful design. So I'm enjoying this. I'm still thinking about how I want to do this whip rotation for 2019. I've said a couple of times I'm focusing on whips, knocking out some of my whips, giving my whip some love in 2019. I've updated my stitching journal, that Excel spreadsheet, with my existing whips. My cat is getting ready to jump up here and wreak havoc on this whole moment that we're having. I'm just telling you, his eyes are big and his ears are back. Oh yeah, so I updated my spreadsheet with some of my existing whips, and I'm kind of working my way through getting all of my whips up there. I think the last time I said it was like 32 that were on that spreadsheet, and now it's like up to 49. And it's not because I'm adding anything. I'm just trying to take inventory of the things that I've started and kind of put to the side to start something else, to see which ones are going to end up as UFOs, which I'll probably just give away, or which ones I need to show some love or forgot how much I loved, like Amtrak. Like I forgot how beautiful this was. And that's the downside of, you know, being a serial starter. You kind of buy all the things that you love and then you start them and then you forget about them and it's a hot mess. So there we go. So I guess I should talk about my haul from this week. I did pretty good. I didn't order a whole lot because I'm trying to mind my spending. But I did get my Color and Cotton Fabric of the Month. Crinkle Crinkle. I get 2 from Color and Cotton. So the first one I got is River Rock. Really like that. It's like a nice taupe color with almost little rosy undertones, but it's definitely, I mean, a beige-ish neutral, but it's a good color. And this is Maui. Both are 32 count Belfast linen. So, like I said, I didn't really like buy anything, or nothing came in the mail that I ordered. Whatever. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I digress. So on last weekend, I think it was, Lisa, the Modern Stitcher, had a flash sale on Instagram, a flash fabric sale, destashing, and it was amazing. And what I love most about what she did is that she put it on Instagram first before uploading the remainder of what was left to Stash and Load. And as I revealed in my last couple of videos, I am now Stash and Load group challenged. So it was a good thing that she posted it, but it was also like trouble. But I regret nothing because she had some absolutely gorgeous fabrics. Some of which, you know, my favorite fabric is by Silk Weaver, but there are some challenges sometimes with getting that when you order it. So I appreciated the fact that I could get some from her and know that it would arrive safely and quickly in a more than reasonable amount of time. So I think I ordered on Saturday and I had them on I know she shipped it on Monday and I got it on like Thursday. Probably would have had it sooner if it wasn't for the National Day of Mourning and the post office being closed. So I got 4 pieces from her. I'm very happy with all of them. This first one, I'm hoping these colors show up the way they're supposed to. This is Solo on 32 count Lugana from Silk Weaver. It's a little more maroon than blood red. That looks precisely like the color of blood, but it is really more of a maroon. I'm trying to see if I lean back, if it's a little better. Whatever. It's like a dark maroon. Don't know what I'm going to do with that, but bet your bottom dollar I'll do something with it. This color is Oasis on 28 count linen from Color and Cotton. Look at that. Oh. Beyond, right? Beyond. Thinking Gypsy Queen. I don't know if I ever talked about it on film, probably not. But Gypsy Queen, I think I want to, I know I'm going to convert her, but I think I want to convert her into like a very dark skin tone, like Somalian, like a Somalian woman with all of those rich, gorgeous colors and the deep, beautiful brown skin, the beautiful colors with her dress and her head wrap, and the beads and the bangles. I see her with a very rich, dark, beautiful skin. Think of like, oh my gosh, Lupita Nyong'o. I'm messing her name up. Yeah, that type of skin tone, just gorgeous. I think that would be fantastic on this type of color. Yeah, I have to think about that. That's what I'm seeing in my mind's eye. This is Spice on 36 count linen by Color and Cotton. These are all fat quarters. And this is Marbled Stone on 28 count Joblin by XJU. Love all of these fabrics. So I'm very happy she had that flash sale, because these are not only 3 of my favorite fabric dyers, but they're just absolutely beautiful colors, and I'm just very excited about it because I would not have had access to them if she just went straight to Stash and Load. So something I did order. This is going to be so much longer than I anticipated. I'm trying to, I might go ahead and just upload this after I do the giveaway result tomorrow, because I'm trying, my last 3 videos, I think, have been well over an hour, like between an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and a half long. I love a meaty video. I love a juicy video, but it is not my intention to make movies every time I record. And I'm still trying to get into, find the groove of things. Like, do I want to do these weekly updates on Saturday, which is a lot easier for me? Or do I want to just keep doing weekly updates and upload them one at a time? Do I want to pack them all into one video? I've never had a complaint about my long videos. So I think you guys know I tend to, you know, usually be about 50 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes. But I don't want to make it a habit of being like a 2-hour thing, right? So this might be a long video, but depending on how long this segment goes, because I recorded last week as well, I might just go ahead and upload after I do the giveaway tomorrow. Because if I wait until next Friday, or next Saturday to add next week's progress, it'll probably be like an hour and a half long, because this is already almost 30 minutes, and I don't know how long the insert from last week was. I think it was like maybe 10-15 minutes. We'll see. I'm rambling. So anyway, I said that I didn't order much last week, but I did order a few things because, like I said, I made some things last week. I made a few things last week using my sewing machine. So now that has sparked a whole new level of excitement in what I am capable of doing. And that was my project bags. So excited with how they came out. Perfection? No. Perfect to me? Absolutely. I'm thrilled. I think I was like giggling a little bit when I finished each one. But then I decided that I wanted to try out a different type of project bag. Let me turn this around so you can't see what I'm about to show you. I have, well, you can see what I'm about to show you, but the pattern is showing through, so I need to turn it around. 1 second. Crinkle, crinkle. Chit, chat, and mingle. All right, so this is a Mama Joan, made by Mama Joan bag. I've had this for a few years. I also have a bag like this that was gifted to me by Diana, it is Kismet, and also by the lovely Felicity Stitches, Jen. They both surprised me at the FLOSSTUBE retreat and both gave me a love gift with a project bag. Absolutely gorgeous, and it had the nice vinyl front. One thing I love about these vinyl front bags is that you can just look at your pattern through the front, and obviously it's easy to see what you have in there, right? So I wanted to try my hand at making a bag similar to this. The last bags that I made, because I make so many, the bags that I made last weekend are more similar to the style, like a Momely bag or a So Much to Love bag. It's more that style. But I wanted to try my hand at work making some of these. So I went on to Joann's to get, they had a sale, it was like 60% off Pellin interfacing. So I bought some interfacing, a nice amount, because it was 60% off. So I got a nice amount of interfacing. The bags that I made had both fusible fleece and fusible interfacing because I had both of them on hand and I wanted to see which I like the feel of more. I've had project bags that I purchased that had both, that use both fleece, fusible fleece, and fusible midweight interfacing. And there are pros and cons with both, but I'm really not sure which one I like the most. I know I have one bag that clearly used like a high loft fusible fleece because it's very, very thick. And then I have some bags that I bought that use fusible fleece that are like perfection, and some that just use midweight interfacing that are also perfection. But I wanted to try both to see what I liked sewing with and what I liked the feel of. So anyway, I went on Joann's and I used the 60% off coupon to get some interfacing, and then I remembered, I think Joann's is where people get this vinyl, this vinyl front, and they buy it just like fabric, by the bolt, by the yarn. So I looked for it. I wasn't sure what gauge to get. Apparently they have different gauges, different weights. So I Googled and I looked up what to get, like what's the ideal gauge or weight of the vinyl fabric. I'm calling it fabric for lack of a better word, of the vinyl to get that you would use in a project bag. What is considered ideal? So I got a 12 gauge. It feels pretty accurate. And then it was like $4 a yard. It was fairly inexpensive, so I got a couple of yards. So I'm like, okay, a couple of yards. The front of the bag is usually, I think, because there's a tutorial out there, I think it's like 15 inches wide by 13 inches high, something like that. So I was like, okay, I'll get a couple of yards so I have, you know, some to play with if I want to make more of these, because I now have a small, very humble fabric stash building up. So I ordered a couple of yards of the vinyl fabric and my interfacing. Interfacing came exactly what I expected. And then I got the vinyl. If any of you have ordered this before, you probably know where I'm going. I had no idea. I brought the packages upstairs. They were left at the garage. And all I will say is my husband thought I bought a pair of skis. Because the vinyl, it is 2 yards, but apparently it is on a 5-foot roll. It's a lot of vinyl. It's a 5-foot, it's 5 feet high. I did not know. It's literally like my husband thought I brought home skis when I brought this box upstairs. Look at that. And then it is, if I can show you, there's a wall behind me. What am I doing? Yeah, there's the 2 yards. So it's 2 yards wide, but it's also 60 inches high. So, obviously, I'm going to be making a lot of these. So don't be surprised, guys, if I'm just sprinkling stitchy kindness, because I have a whole bunch of batik fabric and 70 bags worth of vinyl. So yeah, I'm going to try my hand at making some of these vinyl front bags, and I will just don't be surprised. Somebody asked me when I was posting the project bags that I made last week, which I'm about to show. I'm just rambling at this point, which I do from times to times. So somebody asked me, I think it was in Stitch Mania, if I was going to sell my bags. No, is the short answer. I have a great deal of respect, more so even. Let's talk about this for a minute. I have a great deal of respect for the phenomenal seamstresses in our community, or I'll say sewers because there's men too. Sorry, Gary. I have a great deal of respect for the people in our community that do make project bags and that sell them. Maybe they're in Facebook like Gary and Emily. Maybe Gary has his own Facebook page. Emily does the Mom Woolly Bag flash sales. Maybe it's someone like Christine who might do a flash sale on Instagram. And then you have people that use Etsy, like Mieke, Jen. They all make beautiful, beautiful bags. And then you have people that do this as a small business. Like, of course, Caroline and Evertotes, or Karen and So Much to Love. I have such a great deal of respect and appreciation for what they do. If you didn't know, if this is your first or second time to the channel, I have a problem with project bags. I have been in love with project bags ever since I got my very first So Much to Love project bag. And then I sent Emily one for her birthday gift, love gift, I don't know. And that was her very first So Much to Love project bag. And I dragged her down that rabbit hole with me. I love a project bag. I love the fun and whimsical fabrics. I love the craftsmanship. I love putting my projects in it and tagging it so I know exactly what is in there. I used to be a Ziploc, kind of girl. I used to be the girl with the clear mesh bag. No shade. I love it. I love it all, but I really appreciate a nice quality handmade project bag. So much so that I have contributed to that community. You know what I mean? So much so to the point where if I'm looking at 2019, I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to, pull back the reins a little bit. Got a kid going off to college. Life is real, right? So something had to give. I have a sewing machine, I'm going to try it. And I did. But to take that to the next level, to say, okay, now I'm going to start selling them. I can tell you with a great deal of certainty that, number one, I don't have the time to do that. Number two, I've been sewing for like 30 seconds. I wouldn't sell anybody anything I make. Because I can look at it and see my mistakes. And I'm not that type of person where I don't like it to become work. If I'm making them for the purpose of selling them, it's work to me and it takes the fun out of it. Almost like if I am making a cross stitch, like with the purpose, with a deadline, even if it's, you know, obviously for someone I love dearly, it becomes work. It becomes something that's no longer relaxing or enjoyable. And it just changes, the feel of the project for me. So no, like I said, I accidentally bought 8,052 yards of the daggone vinyl. And the first thing I said to my husband was, people are about to get sprinkled with stitchy kindness. And it might be jacked up. If you watch the Cosby Show, growing up like I did, you know why I call them Gordon Gartrell, you know, project bags. But what I also know is if you are anything like that, it's just the fact that somebody made it, you know, and that you have something that somebody that you like watching or somebody that you appreciate made it for you. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter that you forgot to sew up the seam in the bottom of the bag. It doesn't matter. In the words of Elena B., if it holds something, it's a success. So that's a very, very long way of saying, no, I don't plan on selling. And what I was intending to say, but I distracted myself, is because I successfully put a bag together. Everybody out there that I just mentioned that has made 30 project bags for a sale, 10 project bags for a flash sale, whatever. I have a whole new level of respect for you, because that's work, guys. That's work. When they charge, you know, for those bags, and some people are like, oh, that seems like a high amount. It's not. It's not. You're getting a high quality product that takes work and time to make it look like that. And I tip my hat to all of you guys. And I appreciate what you do. That's my soapbox about project bags. But yeah, let me show you what I glued together last week. So I made 3 project bags. This is the first one. This is, I think I showed this fabric in my last video, and this accent fabric and the interior fabric. These are all those batik. These are from the batik fat quarters. That batik fat quarter bundle that I got off of eBay. The same thing that I used on the back of the PEACOCKS and POSIES pillow. These are perfect for like interior lining and for the accent. Yeah. So turned out pretty well, I think. I think this is what you call the invisible seams. No idea. Except for, I don't need to show you all my business. Look, it's it's beautifully lined, and you got a nice accent, and there. So this is, oh, that looks pretty right there, doesn't it? I don't know what size it is, but it's certainly big enough to hold a project, pattern and all. I don't think it'll hold an 11 by an 11 Q-snap. I don't think. Let's see. Let's see. If you hear a rip, talk amongst yourselves. Well, look at that. Well, look at that. Well, real life, guys, it does hold an 11 by 11 Q-snap. It's in there. I just put the sunflower in there. So that's good to know. This is the second one that I made. This is also the batik fabric that I had in the fat quarters. So I think this piece just happened to be bigger because all of the other fat quarters I have are not enough to do the back and the front. Simply not. This is the same accent fabric I just showed you. And then, all right, the interior. I forgot to sew up the interior of this bottom. So, ooh, look at that. I got to sew that up. I forgot. Yeah. So there's that. And this is one of the bags I can feel. I used both the fusible fleece and the medium weight interfacing. I can feel the fusible fleece on the front of the bag. It's not thick. It's just, it's got a nice weight to it. And then the medium weight on the back. So, I don't know. I don't know which one I like better. I think it'll come down to like price point and what's on sale. Like when I was looking on the Joann's sale last week, they had lightweight interfacing, and I was nervous about using that because midweight I think is probably as light as I want to go. But the pricing on the lightweight interfacing was like so much better, but there's probably a reason for that. So I spent an unusual amount of time Googling and YouTubing to try to understand the different weights of interfacing. I still don't quite get it. I mean, I get it, but I don't have anything to compare with lightweight interfacing. Like it said, it's used in garments or in collars or in cuffs, in shirts, but they seem like a pretty nice weight to me. But I think it was best described as being lightweight like tissue paper, where it doesn't give a lot of support, but it does give shape to the fabric. And I want the bags to have a little bit of support. But I didn't want them to be a super thick. That's how I know the difference between like the low loft fleece that I used in this bag versus the high loft fleece that was in, I'm looking at the bag right now. I don't remember where I bought it. It was on Etsy, but it's very thick. It was recommended by Kay's Cross Stitch. It has a nice handle. It's a nice, deep, wide bottom wedge kind of bag. But there's a big difference between this fleece that I used and the fleece that she used. Yeah. So this bag was the last one that I made. And I saved this for last because I wanted to try out a couple and make my mistakes and find my way before I used a fabric that I really, really loved. And wouldn't you know it, this is the fabric that, this is the bag that I made the most mistakes on. Oh my word, I made so many mistakes on this. I had to completely unpick this zipper line up here because I forgot to move my lining out of the way and I sewed it shut. So what that meant was that when you open the zipper, there was no bag. It was sewn together. It's a hot mess. So I had to unpick all of that. Then I used the lining fabric, but I didn't have enough, so now I have I have this striped lining here, which is what was supposed to be on the inside, and then I have this lining. I'm not mad at it, I don't care. But this was the bag, that's the moral of the story is, this was the bag that I made the most mistakes on. But I also learned that I can correct those mistakes and still have a gorgeous bag. I love the books with the yellow or gold accent. I love this. I love this. And then I was tickled because I showed my husband, like I showed him every single bag that I finished, and he was just amazed. He was amazed that I did that. And when I showed him this fabric, because he is a bibliophile, when I showed him this fabric, he asked if I can make one for his laptop. And I was like, you know what? I think I can. So I'm going to see what I have left of this fabric. I know it's enough to make him a bag, but I think I want to use a more masculine accent fabric here, like maybe just black or chocolate brown. I don't know, but I was tickled that he wanted it. So those were my project bags. Next up is going to be trying to make one with the vinyl front, and we'll see how that goes. from what I've read, the vinyl sews just like fabric, but I don't have any experience with it. So we'll see. I'm excited about that. The last thing, this is like 45 minutes already, guys. Hot mess. The last thing I have to show is the pillow. It's upside down. I finally finished the pillow. I got it completely stuffed. My invisible seam, not so much, but it's fine. I love it. It's nice and tightly packed and dense. I love it. Love, 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 love the pillow. Love the colors. Love the backing with those colors. Feeling confident in my sewing skills and my ability to finish things differently. And I love that, you know, I ventured into this new realm that, you know, may save me a couple of dollars and, you know, help me finish off some pretty things. So I'm very proud of that. I did include those 3 bags as finishes for 2018. They're finishes to me. So next week, I guess I'll be starting a brand new video because, like I said, this is already 48 minutes. I recorded last week, and tomorrow I'm doing the giveaway. So I think I'm going to just glue those together and upload this video. Next week, I'm going to be, next Saturday, I start a new whip. Thinking about what I want it to be, and I'm thinking it's going to be Good in Everything. This is Good in Everything by Rosewood Manor. Tracy had a live destashing sale, and she sold this entire, she kitted it up already, sold the entire thing, and I was like, it's Rosewood Manor, it has a whole bunch of busy on it, I want it mine. So I bought the kit from her, but I decided that I was going to, and I showed this not too long ago, so you know what's coming, change the original quote that says, in this our life exempt from public haunt, finds tongues in trees, books in the running brooks, sermons in stones, and good in everything. I love that, but I wanted to personalize it, so I used a quote from Dr. Maya Angelou, and she goes where she will without pretense and arrives at her destination prepared to be herself and only herself. So I think this will be my whip for the next 2 weeks, starting next Saturday. I need to add Doctor to Maya Angelou. That will be the first thing that I do. And then see how far we get with 2 weeks progress. I think I am going to continue whatever's going to be, whatever my high tea whip is. I think I'm going to continue working on that every Friday until the next high tea, and then add that into my 2-week rotation so there's still a little bit more love given to it. Just looking at Desiderata and the progress that I've made with that, I don't know why I get so distracted on Friday nights, but I do. And I'm enjoying it, and I'm not ready to just put it away. So I think if that is my whip high tea, my whip that I really want to celebrate and show some love to, my high tea whip, I should say, then I'm going to extend that and just build it into my normal rotation. So I think I've shown everything. I think I've talked about all the things. I think I've rambled about all the things. So that being said, this is probably going to be the end of the video. I won't leave you guys hanging. So when I do the giveaway results tomorrow, Monday, I'll just put that at the front of the video. It won't be long. I'm just going to do the YouTube random comment generator. Then I'll add my clip from last week, and then I will insert this, glue it all together, and we'll call that FLOSSTUBE video number 46. And I think that's all I have. Yeah. You know, no, it's not. So we're going to have a little bit of a rabbit trail here because I've been thinking about this since she talked about it. I watched Kay's cross stitch last night. This may be triggering to some people. So if it's not a subject that you want to, talk about, I wish you well, love you all, and catch up with you next time. But for those of you that are interested, I watched Case Cross Stitch, Kara's video last night, and she talked about it toward the end. The young lady that I don't know what happened, but apparently there was a young lady at her place of employment. I don't know if it was a student or an employee, I don't remember, but somehow, whether it was intentional or malicious, they fell 4 stories from the top of a building. She didn't elaborate as to whether it was purposeful or if somebody pushed her, but kind of toward the end with what she was talking about, you kind of understood what her assumption was, for lack of a better word. I don't know if it, I don't know. Anyway, so, there's been a lot going on, in the FLOSSTUBE community. I won't say a lot going on, but there's been some very unfortunate stories that have been shared by some of our fellow FLOSSTUBers, with very, very tragic loss. And last night, Kara talked about how, people that are having hard times during the holidays, or they're looking to, they're struggling with their depression or trying to, contemplating suicide. Let's be real about it. It always hits a nerve with me. And I know McKenna talked about this, in her, previous employment where she was a grief counselor, and she dealt with those types of issues, and personally and professionally, she's dealt with those types of issues. And Karen made a very good point saying last night, it's that time of year where people tend to get very depressed. It's darker. It's holiday season. People might be feeling lonely. They might be feeling alone. And to reach out to those people, that are not as active as they used to be, or don't interact with others as much as they used to, or that seem, a little withdrawn, right? I just want to add to that. Yes, check on those people that don't seem like they're okay. Obviously, check on them. But also check on the people that do seem like they're okay, right? I've talked about this. It's not a secret. I've never talked openly about this on FLOSSTUBE, but my brother committed suicide. My brother committed suicide in 1993. Yeah, where are we, 2019? Almost 26 years. It's mind-blowing to even say that out loud. It has an effect on the family that is inexplicable. My heart went out to Silver Stitcher when she shared her story, because I can tell you, I cannot possibly imagine how somebody as a parent would feel, but I know what my parents felt. And I know that although they dealt with it so differently in their own way, they never recovered. Never recovered, one more than the other. I mean, they function and they, go through life. Well, my mom, sorry, geez. That was a big mistake. Anyway, they function and they, were able to navigate through life effectively, but emotionally, you don't get over that. You don't recover from that. You don't become okay with that. So that's all to say, being a personal, I call myself a survivor of suicide, because I am a survivor of my brother's choice. And you got to check on the people that seem to be okay as well. I think one thing that the biggest thing that we can do, one thing I do know, I don't know if any of you watch 13 Reasons Why, but I thought I'll keep my opinions about the show to myself, but one thing that I did think that they really honed in on was the fact that you don't see it coming. When somebody gets to that point where they decide enough is enough, they're not going to broadcast it. They're not going to reach out as a cry for help. They're going to do it. When they've gotten to that point, they're done. And they're going to move forward and do it without warning you, because they are just at the end of that rope, you know? So yeah, you know, we want to check on the people that are struggling, but we also just, not even just checking on everybody, but, you know, just understand that if something like that happens, or if somebody chooses to do something like that, there's no amount of checking on the person that would ever change that. There's no amount of making sure that that person knows that they're loved and supported that will change that. That is something that that person has to navigate through and manage on their own. It's something that, you know, I think everybody says the same thing. They didn't see it coming, because you would like to think that you did everything that you can do. I always, you know, when I hear, you know, and see people saying check, 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 check on this person, it always makes me think it wouldn't make a difference. Not to be negative, but because you can love that person until, you know, the cows come home. But if they are intrinsically, if they're suffering, there's nothing that you can do to change that, because the odds are you wouldn't know. So my message, if I can be so intrusive, my message is, if you are struggling, just like Kara said, put one foot in the front of the other and keep moving, or reach out, or just say something to somebody. My God, my kingdom, if my brother, you know, mentioned what he was thinking about so specifically, somebody would have helped him. I would like to think that anybody that has a friend or a family member or a loved one that has experienced such a tragedy would say the same thing. If that person just said something about how deeply they were struggling, we would have helped them. So my message is to anybody listening that is struggling, or that is, you know, in those dark, quiet, personal moments where you're contemplating, pick up the phone and find somebody to talk to. Reach out to somebody and find somebody to talk to. If you're struggling and you just need somebody to talk you through that moment, I think that would be probably the most helpful thing that you can do to not only help yourself, but to help the people that you leave behind. Because there's no pain quite like that. Yeah. So all of these talks about, you know, hearing people that are struggling, or hearing people that are struggling to the point where they make an attempt to end their lives, or successfully end their lives. Even like in the past year with, you know, stars, you know, Anthony Bourdain, Kate Spade, a few years back, Robin Williams, it tugs on a heartstring like no other with me. So that being said, you know, thank you for indulging me these last few minutes, but be kind to yourselves. Be kind to one another. No matter what it is that you're struggling with, you do not have to be alone. You do not have to be. You might choose to be, but you don't have to be. So if you're struggling with something like that, it's okay not to be okay. Reach out to somebody. Reach out, whether it's a hotline, whether it's a friend, whether it's a family member, whether it is a stitcher. Reach out. Reach out. It's okay not to be okay. All right. But it's not okay to do that. It's not okay to choose that route. It's not okay. It's not okay. So that being said, I'm stepping off my soapbox because I can talk about that for an abnormally long amount of time. I hope that message reached somebody, anybody. But that being said, if we don't see each other again before Christmas or before New Year's, I wish you a happy holiday season. If you don't celebrate, I wish you a fantastic new year. Love you all, and that's it. Bye-bye.